Fantastic. So welcome, guys. Lovely to have you guys here for this conversation. So I think we're first of all just going to do some introductions. So I'll start by introducing myself, and then I'll have Gabby introduce herself, and if you guys can introduce yourself again. So my name is Zikel. I am from Birmingham. I originally started with Street Games as a volunteer with my local club, and then from there became one of the first original young advisors, and then later on became employed by them, delivering their workshops and stuff. So got a long, wonderful history with Street Games. And over to you, Gabby, if you could introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, I'm Gabby. I'm from Leeds. I volunteered for Street Games a few years ago, like one of the first, I think. I don't know. But then ended up becoming a young advisor, running camps and the like the conferences and stuff, and then employed a couple of times. Yeah, and then that's it really. It's been amazing. So what about you guys?
Let's go for Jess. How about you? If you just tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm from a place called Leigh in Greater Manchester, and I work for Greater Sport as the Young People's Equality Lead. So about how we get young people to engage in sport and movement as part of the GM Moving incentive and culture that we've got around here. My job's based around inclusion and how we remove barriers to sport and physical activity, which includes a lot of youth voice, changing the thinking about how we deliver sport and movement to communities that historically may not have engaged, and how we sort of improve that.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go for Ro, and then we'll come to you last, Lizzie, all right? Ro, if you'd like to introduce yourself for us. You're on mute, by the way, Ro.
Hi, I'm Ro. I'm 15 and I live in South London.
Okay. And do you volunteer for a group, or do you do anything?
Yeah.
Or have you done? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
I do the same thing that Lizzie does.
Okay, cool. So then we'll come to Lizzie then. All right, and Lizzie, if you introduce yourself to us.
Hi, I'm Lizzie and I'm from South London, and I volunteer at Burgess Sports, which is kind of linked to Street Games.
Okay, and say that again, Burgess Sports, did you say?
Burgess Sports.
Burgess Sports, okay. So tell me about Burgess Sports before we get into this conversation. I want to know more about you two. Well, you three. What do you do?
So Burgess Sports is like a company, but the event that I like get involved in is like helping out with like the children in sports, and yeah, basically.
So we have
children in sports. Volunteering, sorry.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Are you guys like volunteering, helping with the younger ones?
Yeah, we're ambassadors for.
Oh, nice.
You said that so casually. We're ambassadors. that's something good. We like that. Okay, so let's get into this. We are talking today about being active, and me and Gabby are just going to be here talking with you guys, asking questions, and really getting your thoughts and your views on, being active. So I'm gonna ask. I want to know first of all, before we had COVID, did you guys do anything to be active? And if you did, what things did you do to be active? And that's a question I'm opening to everyone. It's the same question for all three of you. Tell me, what did you do? Anybody want to go first, or do I choose?
Yeah. Most of my experience of being active is with young people. So it was usually dictated to by them. So we did quite a lot of badminton, walking, and then personally, I like swimming. So I do that in my own time.
Nice.
Might be able to teach me how to swim then. It's been a long time. Go for it, Gabby. Go for it.
I don't know, activities have just gone out the window, haven't they, really, over COVID. I started walking a lot more, I guess. But I just find it a little bit boring. I'm more of a sports person. So I really want to try. I mean, I've got back into playing my netball, but then I started working full time. So then that stopped also. Adult life. But then, yeah, I'm trying to work on at the minute, if you guys want to help, also trying to get like more females involved with sport, which at the minute where I am is not a very big popular thing. So if along the process you guys can think of anything, set up a program or something, that'd be very helpful.
All right. Ro, I'm interested to know, how did you get involved in what you do? What is your sport, if any? Give us some information. What did you do to be active?
I don't do anything. Yeah.
And that's okay, because we're going to get you to do something eventually someday. So the organization that you work for then or volunteer with, how did you get involved with them? And do they get young people active?
Right now, I'm staying at my cousin's house.
Mm-hmm.
So they like introduced me and got me to come. So yeah.
Okay. I can tell you're a little bit shy, but don't worry. You're in a safe place. Promise you. So tell me, okay, your cousin got you involved, and what exactly did you get involved with? I'm really trying to get to the heart of this. What exactly is it that you got involved with?
Just like helping, like for me so far, I haven't been an ambassador long, but basically what you do, you carry some equipment, you take the children where they need to go, like if they need to go to the toilet or like get water, you go with them. Mm-hmm. And you basically just help around.
Cool. And I'm guessing those children are active during the sessions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of activities do they do? Sorry.
Yeah, so go for it.
What kind of activities do they do that you help out with? Like
they do
like skills, or
they do like team sports and individual sports. Like, you know how primary school children, they're always playing games in PE? It's like that. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. And I'm guessing you enjoy it. I can see that there's a smile on your face every time you mention it. That's a good thing. And Lizzie, tell me about, what did you do? Did you do anything individually, personally, to be active, or is all of your activity with the same organization?
Yeah, but I used to play basketball at my school, but then I stopped. So then, like, my main source of getting active was from Badger Sports.
Okay. So you play basketball. Okay. So that's interesting, because we've had Jess who does swimming, and I forgot the other sport that you did. Forgive me. I honed in on the swimming. And we've got you who did basketball. So that's what you did before COVID. How has that impacted you guys in terms of your active lifestyles? How has that had an effect on you guys? Have you missed it? Do you think it should be different? Tell me a little bit about that. That's an open question to Lizzie and Jess.
I think especially last year, I think it was difficult to engage in anything with a group. So everyone did online things where you'd get to talking, and then you'd do something in your garden or in your front room. But it was really hard to sort of get the momentum going, to get people to really engage. And I think a lot of people struggled with that a little bit. The encouragement was to do an hour a day. And I think that sort of set a precedent for a lot of people, that it's important to do it. But how they did it came up with new barriers, because not everyone has the luxury of the grounds to go on a walk for, or it's not safe to do the things that we were allowed to do. So I think a lot of people missed out. But personally, I did lots of walking.
Do you think then it's like to get people more active, they need that sort of push, motivation from people to do it? As in, like, I would personally struggle doing exercise on my own. whereas like lockdown, obviously we haven't been seeing anyone, so I tried to do like a FaceTime Zoom meeting with my friend to do like an aerobics video or something. Boost yourself. So do you think like maybe trying like to get people more motivated by doing it as a group?
I think that's quite difficult, isn't it? Because you've got adults and workers that really want to engage young people in being active, but then even though you'll still have some very keen young people that want to do it, there's digital exclusion, or the attendance just isn't as good. So you could have a normal youth group in a normal time where you get 20 young people through the door, and then online you've probably got about 5, just for different reasons. So, but I think the rapport that you get from doing things as a group is really beneficial to a lot of people, and I think we've missed that all last year and the beginning of this year.
Yeah, I agree.
How about you, Lizzie, in terms of basketball? Because basketball is a team sport, so how has that impacted you?
I can say that after I stopped playing basketball, like I got like less, like I got more lazy to do things. So yeah,
More lazy. So tell me, so what does that look like? More lazy. So what were you like before versus now?
I used to be like a very like sporty person. Like I used to like be encouraged to go play sports, but now it's just like a thing where it's just like, if I have to, I have to, but if I have a choice to, I won't.
Okay. So do we all agree then? Do we think that we need, the consensus that I'm kind of gauging is we need to be back together doing team sports and doing activities. Do you think that's would be a right assumption? Give me a thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up if you think it would. Thumbs up from Jess. Ro, what about you? Thumbs up, okay. I didn't see Lizzie. Lizzie, okay, we got thumbs up. Cool. I'm having to skip screens. So tell me, okay then, I'm interested to know, what does sport look like for you guys moving forward, or what does the future of sport look like to you? Do you think that we will continue to, in order to move forward rather, we'll continue to have online sports, or do you think we need to be back to doing sports altogether, not online? What do you think the future of sport looks like for you guys? Do you understand that question as well? I'm making sure. Yeah? Okay. What does the future of sport look like? Gabby, you want to say something, go ahead.
No. Just more like, I think, as in, how do you think we can get people back into doing sports after COVID? Because, I mean, after a while of not doing anything, people just can't be bothered. But we need to try and build up that like motivation again of trying to get people back out doing activities, or even more people doing activities because they've been stuck inside for so long. And like, how do you think, to anyone, like, how do you think we could approach that? Like, for me anyway.
Like, what would make you think, yeah, I want to go and do that session, or I want to participate in sport? What would be that thing that draws you in?
Maybe, what about, like, obviously loads of people have like lost jobs and stuff, so maybe trying to promote like free sessions. Do you think that would be a good idea, or like low budget sports activities? Or
I can tell you some of the stuff that what I've done in the past about engaging people. I think the cost is a big one, like Gabby said. Reducing that really, really helps. And having a budget to sort of put on transport as well, that's really supportive of big families that might not necessarily have a car. But what we've been doing of late is going to the young people that are already engaged in something else. It might be a youth group that's youth voice or creative, and then how we bring in sports and movement. We do a youth consultation to get what they want to do. You've got to manage expectations, but you sort of rely on their voices, their opinions, so then you can sort of co-design it with the young people, to sort of encourage them to walk before they can run, before they get stuck into something that they might not enjoy, because a lot of youth organisations come with a commitment that can scare young people. So starting slow with young people, that if you've already got a peer group that are on board, I think that really helps young people. If your friends are doing it, it's less isolating. And I think after a year of being very isolated, we should all be working to remove those barriers a little bit.
Okay. Lizzie, what would help you get back into basketball?
Like if there's like lots of people like my age who have like stuff like that relate to me. Yeah.
Okay. And do you want to go back to playing basketball?
Yeah.
That was a yeah, like ooh, a little bit. Okay, so if we had more people involved, and I'm interested, Ro, what would get you to, I don't know, if you had a sport that you like or something, what would get you interested in being active in sport?
Like swimming. I like swimming, like something to do with water.
Okay, so swimming. I think that's really good. Maybe we could have team swimming sessions. I would love to do swimming as well. So if anybody wants to take me along, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready. Okay, then. So we agree then that we definitely feel that we need people to be together involved in sport, that having peers or friendship groups where you can be involved in sport would be good. We've also mentioned about finances. So I'm guessing from the experiences that we've had, we've come across people who probably don't really have much of finances to participate in stuff. So we recognize cost is an issue. And we've also spoke about transportation. If, for example, a session was brought into your community, or like even a mini festival, would that make you guys want to go and be a part of it? I think that was a yes from you, Jess. I saw a head movement.
I sort of said to myself, that's quite a good question. Yeah, because I think you could, if it was like a festival of movement, you could really involve different people that have different likes, and yeah, it sounds. If young people enjoy it, yeah.
Yeah. And there's one key thing, we've all missed it, but there's one key thing that everybody loves that gets everybody engaged, and it's food. We've all missed it. As long as there's food, we're there. Food and music, and we're there. So I think that would work as well. So I'm interested really just in, well, you know, I'm not even interested. I've heard what you guys have had to say. I don't know if Gabby has anything that she wants to add as well.
I mean, like coming out of COVID now, what would be like your main barrier at this moment in time of not getting involved with activities that are currently going on? Because I know like they've only just brought back going inside to do like inside sports, which playing outside for me as a netballer was not the best because I'm so clumsy. I trip, I fall over, I'm bruised. And it really kind of put me off a little bit. But now we're going back indoors. Obviously it's a bit open now. So like for me, what would your barriers be of not getting back into doing sport or even any activity?
It's a good question. Lizzie, let's go for you. What would your barrier be?
Not that. I would like, what would stop me doing like activities is like there not being like a lot of people there. Or,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Bro, what about you? You're on mute, bro.
It would be not having any facilities like close to me or that are like available to me,
Yeah, fair enough.
and going with people that I don't really talk to.
So like, if there was people there that you didn't know, you would off-put you a little bit.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's about being able to get people that you know there. Okay. Jess, anything from you?
I think transport and the knowledge of knowing what's in your area, I think plays a big part, because there's a lot of hidden gems in the hearts of communities, I think, that go unknown, or they're not part of a bigger project. Sorry about my dog barking.
That's all right.
Yeah, I think broadcasting and I think youth workers underplay themselves quite a lot. They don't let people know where they are and what they're doing until it's over, really. So I think shouting about what's on is really positive for young people, to let people know, because that will play into both what Ro and Lizzie have said about friends being there, people they know, and available in their community. I think that's really important. Can't keep expecting young people to go somewhere when really we should go to them.
Yeah, like make it kind of like a local thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bring in, I think that's the right thing there. Bring in whatever it is to the location. That really works. Just another question really from me in terms of, so thinking about sport and the fact that it has the ability to really impact people's lives, what is one thing that you would want the organizers of sport, the organizations and so forth, one thing you would want them to know or change in terms of decisions about the future of sport, or what would make people come back to sport or make people engage? What's one thing you would tell them? Like, for example, when I was younger, we didn't have many facilities. So I would want, for example, the councils to make more parks or multi-purpose parks so that we could play sports. And also we didn't have things like swimming at the time. I'd want them to have created opportunities for us to be able to have free swimming sessions. So give me an example of something that you would want, the organizers to know or change about sport. I hope that made sense. Go for it, Lizzie. I saw you.
Okay. I would like them to make it available for everybody. So if one do discounts for families that don't have enough money to do it, or if it's if the family has more children and more than another family, then they should do a discount for that family. So if it's if you have 3 children, one of them can go for free, like that.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a good idea. Jess, Ro, do you have any ideas or any thoughts?
Do you want me to go, or are you going, Ro?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
Because Lizzie just said what I was gonna say. So
Cool. And how about you, Jess?
I was going to say that before we focus on physical health, I think as youth workers in sport, we need to be considering more the mental health and the makeup of a young person, and the physical health and the benefits of that will follow, because they interlink massively. But I think moving more and being physically active isn't for everyone. If you've got mental ill health, you might not want to engage, and I think there's a bit of a lack of engagement for those young people, because it's all about play this team sport, when really they need to do the small wins first to get up and get out. So I think at StreetGames, where I live, do yoga and I've sort of latched onto that, and now everywhere I go, I'm like, Street Games are doing yoga. So when I'm going into mental health services that have young people, so there's yoga, there's mental health and well-being, sport and physical activity that all link up. And I think just as a country, we need to be focusing on the mental health of young people.
Yeah, because the mental health, obviously with lockdown, has hugely increased. So that's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said, actually. You said get up and go. And I like that as a catchphrase, get up and go. And I think actually that is something that we probably all need to do, is get up and go. But that will look different for each person depending on where they're coming from. So a get up and go could be a whole family get up and go for a walk together. Another get up and go could be an individual who was a competitive person might want individual goals to challenge themselves. So they might say, I'm going to try and do a 1 mile run. I've never tried that in my life. Maybe one day I will. But I do like that as a phrase, get up and go. I'm interested to know, in terms of mental health then, how do we help those who have struggled, or how do you perceive those who have struggled with mental health, how we as organizations could help them? What things could we do? So I know you've mentioned a few things, but let's look at the small steps. What would be the first thing that you would say, this is what we absolutely need to do to capture these young people and to help them through that barrier?
Do you want me to answer that?
Go for it.
Yeah, go for it.
The co-delivery and co-design, I think has played a big part in engaging people, empowering young people, and the rapport youth workers are great at building rapport. More than teachers and more than any other professional in a young person's life, a youth worker can really capture the youth voice. So I think the co-design and co-delivery of organising movement and physical activity would really empower young people to do it, even if they end up not liking the sport. The fact that they've done a taster because that's what they wanted to do and we listened to you, I think it should be done a lot more, instead of just saying, right, well, we're going to do football on a Tuesday. Ask the young people, well, what would you prefer? That sort of thing.
Okay. Lizzie and Ro, just a random question for me. Do you guys view yourselves as youth workers? Like, do you think to yourself, I'm a youth leader and I do this session? Like, how do you actually view yourselves? I can see Ro's face there, like, ooh.
I don't really I wouldn't really categorize myself as a youth worker, but like in some terms it would actually classify as a youth worker, but I wouldn't take it for myself to call myself a youth worker.
And what about you, Ro?
No, because really the volunteering, I just like helping, so it just feels like I'm a helper. And also no, because youth workers, when I think of youth workers, I think of someone plus 16, and I'm not plus 16.
See, that's really interesting. I don't know if Gabby wanted to comment before I comment.
No, go for it.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting, because actually when I was volunteering, I didn't think of myself as a youth worker. I was just doing something that I found fun. But actually, that doing something that I found fun had the most impact, because I was on the same level as those young people. And I think you guys shouldn't neglect how powerful you guys can be as volunteers, youth workers, as you, because actually you have a voice. And so your voice that you have now can allow the kids that you work with to see some of the activities that they would be interested in. Hence why we're having this conversation with you. But now that we've had this conversation, has your perspective of how you see yourself been impacted in any way? Now that we're talking, it can be a yes or a no. No.
Do you see yourselves as leaders?
Yeah, when we run sessions. Yeah.
Because all the youth workers that I know and work with, leadership skills is probably one of the first that they gained, and then captured their interest to become a youth worker, because they enjoyed the relationship they had with young people. So knowing that you are a leader at the age of 14, 15, 16, when you're older, you'll reflect on that and be like, actually, I've got these skills. I can do this job because I did it when I was 14, so I can do it now.
Yeah, definitely. So I said all of that to say this, really and truly. Have a think about some of the things that you think you would like to see be done in your area, that changes of what you would like to see, or what things you would like to bring, and what things can you bring to the table. For example, I don't know what type of music you're into, but I know when I did my sessions, we had music, and the kids loved music because they wanted to be the DJs because they were forever better than me, because I'm old now. But that got them to the session. I'm a granddad. But also, they all love pizza, so I brought pizza. But I was able to be a voice to my managers to say, hey, we need this. So think about that. What can you bring? This has been a great conversation. I don't know if anybody has anything else that they want to add or bring or say before we bring it to its natural end. No? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We've had a good conversation. We've had some good thoughts. I've taken a few things from it as well. So I recognize that costing and travel is an issue. And also, we want to make sure that we get our peers engaged. So thank you very much. That's what I've taken from it. Lizzie, what have you taken from today's discussion? Give me one thing that or something you're going to go away and think about.
Like I'm gonna think about like how I could like help my community like get in more like activities for young people.
Okay. Yeah. And Ro?
It makes me want to get the younger children into sport.
Cool.
Yeah.
To myself.
Good.
And yourself? That's good. That's good. And Jess, go for it.
Two things. One that Lizzie said was relatability, and what Ro said about availability. I think they're prominent.
Yeah.
Availability is I agree. All right, Gabby, I don't know if you have anything you want to
add. No, but let's encourage people to be active. Keep it going, and hopefully we will be back to a normal soon, and we'll be bossing out the activities.
Definitely. And so thank you all. I look forward to being able to hopefully see you guys at your sessions leading one day. So I will be looking out for you as future young leaders. And yeah, it's been a great conversation. So we will see each other some other time.
The thing with street games is you'll see each other more and more.
Definitely. Hence why I'm called Granddad.
At least more than once. Yes, Granddad.
That's why I'm called Granddad. But yeah, it's been a fantastic conversation. I don't know if Jess and Dan have anything they want to add before we go. But thank you guys for participating and answering our questions so willingly as well. And Jess, thank you as well. I'm sure you've got a lot to take back too. So
yeah,
thank you very much.